everyone.
What a season.
Yeah. I have no words to describe this feeling. Glad it's over comes to mind.
Very. We were messaging, we were saying we're very glad that the season's over. We're not glad the show's over because we will
No.
miss everyone. But
Correct.
we're very, very glad that the season's over. I think we've had enough heartache and pain for one season.
That's
year.
it. No, well, it's been 2 seasons in 1 year.
Yeah.
But this particular season. But anyway, let's get this show on the road for the last time in 2022. Here is the intro. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been up north, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Green grass in front of her. Makes the most of that open space for a couple of bounces.
It's still just as good, even in the last show.
It is. It is. And I know you said to me just before we came on that your mission tonight is to smile for the entirety of this show. So I'm going to do the same because...
And the smile isn't fake. I'm not like faking a smile for the show. It's just, I think the last few weeks we have been very sad on the show, which
we have.
Deservedly so, because they've dished up a sad season. But I think I'd like to go into the off season with some sort of smile, even if I said to Shannon before we came on, even if I say they're really, really bad with a smile on my face, I'm still saying what I mean, but we're just doing it in a little bit of a joyful way so that we can finish the year with some sort of smile on our face.
Look, agreed. And given Friday night wasn't all bad, apart from the weather and Ali Blackburn, we actually played okay.
The weather.
The weather was absolutely terrible, and I reckon it kept a lot of people away. But in saying that, I honestly think that for patches in all 4 quarters, we were actually pretty dominant. And at the start of the last quarter, the ball was up our end for, I want to say, 70, 80% of the quarter. And enter Ali Blackburn, who is a phenomenal footballer, kicks a goal, unmanned at a stoppage, first mistake. Allowing her to spin out of not 1, but 2 tackles, second mistake. And allowing her to get ball to boot, third mistake. So it takes a snap decision or a moment in a game that ultimately cost us the 4 points. But there's different patches in the game, and I'm going to call out Amanda, because she messaged me as soon as this happened, and I was pissing myself laughing because she knew exactly my feelings at that moment without even talking to me at that point. And it was Jess Good. And I'm absolutely fuming at this person because I don't understand how, in whatever situation you're in, that when the ball is that close to your opposing goal, that you decide that you want to slap it into the mouth of goal.
Footy IQ. We don't teach it down at Carlton.
Apparently
you've either got to come with it or we're in a bit of strife.
That's it. And I tell you what, it was really, really funny. She goes, Jess Good hitting that back made me yell and then thought of you.
Yeah. To be fair, I think of Coach Shan for like 99% of the game. So, but honestly though, I think we all probably thought, oh my. That's what we thought. But I think you're spot on. I think for patches of the game, we were able to show something. And then when it mattered, ultimately, we weren't able to put our best foot forward. And I think that's the perfect summary of our year. We were good in parts, not good enough, and could never do it when it mattered. I think that's what our year's been.
I think you just literally summed it up in one. And it kind of did sum up our season. And
Yep.
what happened against the Dogs was a tale of our season.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it ended on a note that we probably didn't want it to, because the girls had worked so hard throughout the game to get themselves in a winning position, being 10 points up at three-quarter time. And you think, in any normal circumstance, yeah, Carlton are going to win this game. But to the Bulldogs' credit, they were fantastic in that last
They
quarter.
were fantastic. And you could tell they were playing for something bigger than just the game. And I think we spoke about it last week, was that could go two ways. They could either crumble under pressure or really rise to it. And even though we weren't playing for finals or anything like that, we wanted to play for pride and we wanted to be able to go into the season off the back of a win. And we just weren't able to rise to the occasion of winning for something.
No, and credit to the Bulldogs' defense, because as I said, we were peppering that ball into that forward 50 in that last 20 minutes or 15 minutes, however long the quarter went for. And they were just able to repel us every single time. And credit where it's due. Like, they're fantastic. They were playing for 8th spot. They needed to win that game to be playing finals this weekend, because I think Gold Coast ended up winning. So it's like, if the Doggies had have lost, they would have been relying on GWS. And
we all know what relying on other teams does.
Correct. So we made that mistake in the men's, waiting for the Bulldogs to lose to Hawthorn, and that never happened. So they were playing for their lives. And I'm thankful that the season's over, but we did have a lot of players that actually played some really good football. And I know we've had her on our hit list for majority of the year, but Elise O'Day really stood up for me in that last game. 10 tackles on her own.
Yep.
Our tackling pressure in that first half against the Bulldogs was really good. You could tell that our girls were there for something. And I can see something to take into next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But ultimately, it was the Bulldogs leaders that really stood up tall for them. And just looking at some of the stats from their end, I mean, you can't go past Deanna Berry. Every time I looked up, she had the ball in her hand. Isabel Pritchard, Katie Lynch, Kirsty Lamb, like all these girls just really stood up. Ellie Blackburn had 23 disposals and 7 tackles. One handball, 22 kicks. Like, that's
we can only imagine of that stuff.
Well, we have the equivalent in Mimi Hill, but this is the difference between Mim and Ellie. Mim had 22 disposals. Ellie had 23. Mim laid 1 tackle. Ellie laid 7.
7 tackles. That's big.
From a midfielder and a leader of that football club, that is what you want from your leaders. Leading from the front, hitting hard, laying tackles. That is an impressive output for someone who was close to not playing.
And I think, looking at who really stood up for the Bulldogs, you can see that there's just an extensive list of them. It wasn't left to 1 or 2 players. They all stood up when it counted, and they all had their own moments. They picked and choose when the moment was theirs, and they let others rise, when the others needed to. I think that as well is the story of our season. We just didn't have enough output the whole board across. We spoke about Mim every week. We spoke about multiple players every week. And that's where the issue comes in, is we don't want to be singling out these players each week. We want to highlight their brilliance, but we want to be talking about how good this team had as a whole, which is what we're like.
Which is what we had against St Kilda. That was a very well-rounded performance against the Saints. And I wanted to see that kind of output from round 1 right through.
How good would that have been?
Oh, amazing. And like, it's just frustrating because we can see their brilliance. And there are a lot of positives to take out of this season. So many young up and coming players like Keely Skepper, Keely Sharrar, Daisy Walker. Like these girls, these young women are going to start to understand what it takes to be at the level. And I can honestly say that I'm excited for next year. Whilst disappointed in this year, I'm looking forward to seeing how these girls develop over summer and into closer to pre-season, because it'll be the difference in how we go next year. We'll gain players, we'll lose some. That just happens in football. I just don't want to lose the amount of girls that we have over the past previous years and quality players. So it's going to be interesting to see where it all, once the dust settles on this season and they put this season to bed, what it is that's going to take for them next year to take that next step, like especially these young women.
100%. We can't go into next season doing the same thing with the same processes and expect something to change. Because if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same outcome, which is not the outcome any of us want. So now we really look at what's going to change.
Yeah, look, I'm not keen on those performances continuing. So it's whether we review what we've currently got, which I think needs to happen regardless. Like whether we made finals this year or not, I think at the end of every season, there needs to be a top to bottom review. What worked well, what didn't, what can we do better?
Mm-hmm.
And that's with any organization.
Yeah, 100%. You need to be lining up your KPIs and seeing what worked and what didn't go well, because otherwise you're not aiming for excellence. You're just aiming for mediocrity. And that's not what we want in an elite football club or any organization, but especially in an elite football club that wears the CFC emblem. So let's stop accepting that we've got an AFLW team and that we put one out on the park and this and that, and let's actually aim for something bigger than just being here. Let's strive to succeed.
Correct. And they've already put that into the atmosphere by saying that they expect this team to win premierships. So,
multiple.
Okay. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. And I just want to see excellence out of this team. And I appreciate everyone commenting and thanking us for this year. We must demand more. That's exactly right. Hi. Hello, Cheer Squad. We do. We must demand more.
And we said as a club when we did our review on our men's team that we don't stand for mediocrity. That's what we put out there. We put out there that we are, like the Cheer Squad said, we are the Carlton Football Club. We're here to win premierships, and we're going to do whatever it takes, go down whatever avenues we need to go down to work out the root of the issue of why we're not there right now and fix it. So if we've already said that's what we stand for as a club, we've done it with the men's, it's time to do it with the women's. That doesn't mean maybe they'll do the review and find that half is the guy, which good on them if they do. I don't think they will. But if they do, and that's the outcome, then fine. But where's the other issue? There has to be an issue somewhere. So we need to find the root of the cause and fix it now.
Because A and B aren't meeting.
Yeah.
And it's the same issues we speak about week in, week out. Is it the fitness? Is it the team they've put together, the high performance team? Is that the issue?
Yeah.
Fix it. Is it the coaching staff? Fix it.
Fix it.
You know
Is
what I mean?
the culture? Fix it.
Fix it. That's going to be our hashtag for next year. Fix it.
Fix it.
Hashtag fix it. Because like we've all said all year, and this is stemming from season 6 as well. So this is not just season 7. This is stemming back to season 6 and the way we finished season 6. Given the turnaround between season 6 and season 7 wasn't very long, so there wasn't enough time to fix a lot of the issues, but we lost a lot in between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Let's not lose the same between 7 and 8. like you said, get to the root of the problem from top to bottom review, like we've been calling for all year. There's no excuses now. The men's review is done. We fixed the issues there. Let's fix the issues with the women's team. And let's make this club one club, not one club, two teams, one club.
Yeah.
Under the same banner, they wear the same emblem, they sing the same song, they share the same facilities. It's about time they all became one merged club. End of discussion.
100%. You know, I said this from the very beginning when they did the redevelopment of Carlton. I actually saw it on Twitter, I think. So if I'm stealing your idea, I'm sorry. But I saw that if anyone's been to the redevelopment of Carlton, they've got the premierships lined up as you walk in. I would love for them to put an empty one there for the men's, and next to it, put an empty one there for the women's, because there is nothing, we don't have any silverware. So let's put an empty stand there so that every time the women and the men walk in, they know what they're there to do. Yeah, you might be training to put on an extra few kilos or lose a few kilos, put on some more weight, but really you're there to get the best out of yourself to try and win premierships. So let's do that.
Yeah. Like, that's it. I walk into, I'm going to say it, I do a lot of work with Essendon Football Club. I walk in there quite often at the hangar. They have an empty square on the wall with all their other premierships that says 17 awaits. They'll be waiting a long time for that to happen, but it's the same, right? It's the same principle. It's the same mindset. Those players walk in and out of there every day. They see that. Given they're not a very good list, so they're probably not going to win their 17th, but still, the principle still applies. You want to give them that drive.
Yeah.
But it needs to start at the top. It needs to be a complete review. And I don't want to lose players, given it will happen. But if we can keep the majority of that list together, and a pre-season together, who knows what season 8's going to bring? And we have to wait until June for it to happen.
That's the thing.
I've got plenty of time to think about it.
A week is a long time in football, and an off season is a lot longer than that. So, like, although at the moment it does seem a little bit doom and gloom because we haven't been able to show anything and we haven't really had much communication from the club on what the plan is going forward, other than the fact we want to win premierships. But you know, if we are able to get the framework right and quickly, like it needs to happen within the next month, because work starts now. You know, we have our summer holiday and then we get straight back into it, because now more than ever we've seen this year how hard it is with the whole competition. Every team's going to get better next year. Sydney's going to get better next year. So we've got to get better than how much better the team next to us is getting.
Correct. And just to put it out there and to give everyone perspective on how bad our season was, one expansion club finished ahead of us.
Which is?
Essendon.
And not good.
No. Hawthorn only finished behind us because we had 2 draws. They won more games than us. So that's just to put it into perspective a little bit. And where we are as a football club.
Sydney should have had a win as well.
Yeah, we won 2 games for the year and drew 2. Hawthorn won 3. Essendon won 4. Port Adelaide were very unlucky. They had a draw and a win. That could very easily have been 2 wins. So that just shows you where we are at. And then you do the flip side and you see the likes of Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond, Geelong, Collingwood, the Bulldogs and the Kangaroos. Any of those teams can win this grand final. And we'll have a look at those games in a minute. But let's take a step back now. When we finish the season, it's all done and dusted. We look to who is going to win our awards. And There's been a few comments in here around who we think is going to win the best and fairest. So I'm going to ask you, who's going to win our best and fairest? Who's your first, second and third?
It could go a few ways. I really do think it will be very interesting to see how the voting lands. I feel like sometimes it's a bit unpredictable how it will all go. But I think Vince has probably summed up the three that I think will be up there. I'm not sure who will be first, second, and third, but Lalawifi, Hill, McKay, sorry. But I also think Kez will be up there. I think Kez has shown leadership, so we'll see how that goes. Moody had a really strong season. I'd be surprised if she wasn't up there. But I reckon those three, it'll just be very interesting to see how they vote. Because I think sometimes it's not necessarily the best player, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, we saw it in the men's. Like, Patrick Cripps won the Brownlow, and Doc could have very easily won the best and fairest. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be very tight at the top. It's going to be out of those four. So, like, Mim, Abby, Bree, Mua, Kes, 5. It'll be out of those 5 because they were the 5 key standouts for me. So we even may have a tie, as Rob has.
Imagine that. Yeah. That would be so Carlton. We had that many draws this year. There's going to be a tie. 100%. You've hit the nail on the head, Shan. There's going to be a tie.
It's going to happen. I'm putting it out there in the universe now. It is a tie between Abby McKay and Mimi Hill.
Shan said it first. Coach Shan.
Coach Shan with the goss. No, I'm kidding. Goss.
Actually rigged the votes. That's why she knows.
Highly doubt that I'll be able to rig anything. But yes, it'll be an interesting end to the year for the BNF. It'll put a full stop on what was a tumultuous season 7, to say the least.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing the speeches from that BNF. Because if I hear Eddie blabble, I will scream. I don't want to hear blabble. I want to hear what went wrong, maybe a little bit of joy to lighten the mood a little bit, and what we're going to do to fix what went wrong. No blabble, please. We've heard enough blabble over the last few seasons.
That word just makes me laugh. Blabble.
Blabble. I love the word blabble. It's great. I blabble all the time. I like talking.
No, and I'm not keen to hear Harford speak in general, because listening to him in his press conferences and listening to him on coverage of other games, it infuriates me that he can see what the other teams are doing wrong, but he can't even see what's happening in his own backyard. Or perhaps he can see what's happening in his own backyard and just nothing's happening.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you mean.
I just want honesty. Be honest with the fans. That's all we ask. Be honest. Put your hand up and go, yep, I stuffed up. Yep. Am I going to fix it? Yes.
Yes.
Not, we thought we had a really interesting season. It was good. We've developed and we're going to get better.
Have we developed?
We will. Come on. Like, be honest. Be honest with the fans. Just openly say, yep, this season wasn't our greatest. Can we improve? Absolutely. Are we willing to work for it? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because the thing is, they know, as bad as it is, because sport is this weird concept where we'll always love Carlton, no matter how bad they are doing. They'll frustrate us, but we'll always love them and we'll always go back to them. It's this weird concept. Sport is weird. So you don't need to talk blabble and lie to us. Just tell us the truth, because we're still going to come back even if you say, I stuffed up.
Correct. We'll respect you more for putting your hand up. 100% we'll respect you more. And unfortunately, I feel like we're going to get blabble.
Please, no blabble. I don't want no blabble.
Blabble, blabble, blabble. That's what we're going to get. And I'm sick of hearing blabble, because we've heard it for so long. And like you said, it's like we're in this weird vortex of Carlton love, and no matter where we are, we will always come back to them. It's like Carlton is Bo Peep and we're her sheep.
Yep.
And we'll always come back. Or Carlton is like we're the boomerang and Carlton threw it. I'm going to come up with so many different analogies.
That was a good one.
Yeah. We're the
Moral
boomerang
story.
and Carlton's home.
That's good.
But look, in all honesty, let's put this season behind us. Let's just look to the finals. It's shaping to be a very interesting final series indeed.
Very.
A few questions have been asked as to why the Melbourne-Adelaide game has actually been played at Icon Park this week. I'm not sure if it's to draw a crowd because Casey Fields is in wherever the hell Casey Fields is. But
I'm pretty sure I read on Twitter, I could be wrong, so don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I read that they're doing a bit of a redevelopment, not full blown, but there's a little bit of construction work going on, and that's why it'll be played at Icon Park.
Okay, well, that makes more sense. Then we've got the Lions and the Tigers.
Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Oh my. Geelong and North Melbourne at GMHBA on Saturday night, and then Sunday at Victoria Park is Collingwood and the Bulldogs. It's actually going to be a really good first week of finals, and I'm going to be tuning in because Melbourne Adelaide, that's going to be an absolute ripper.
How good is that game going to be? And it will be of a really high standard too. I'm really excited.
Correct. Yeah. The only game I'm a little bit unsure about, and I feel may sway to be a one-sided affair, maybe Brisbane-Richmond, because I watched Brisbane on the weekend, and I think I messaged you, and I'm like, and then you see Brisbane play.
So good.
They're just unbelievable. Their fitness, their strength. I mean, I saw Sophie Conway up close and personal before the start of season 7, and my goodness, she is lean. They are fit. They are unbelievably fit, and the skill to go with it.
They have a system.
Mitch has done an amazing job with that team.
Unreal. They have a system for success.
Can you come coach Carlton, please?
Please.
He'd be amazing. So that's the only game I see that could potentially be a blowout. Maybe Geelong, North Melbourne as well, because Geelong were just phenomenal. First team to crack 100. Like,
how good.
Amazing. So for all those people out there that say AFLW can't score, go watch the Geelong game from the weekend just gone. Okay, thanks.
Carlton can't, but Geelong can.
Same colours, same concept. I like it. But no, and the other one, Collingwood Bulldogs, that could go either way for mine because Collingwood were absolutely pantsed by Brisbane Lions. So
it'll be really interesting to see if that has dampened their confidence or whether they come out wanting to say, no, that's not an accurate representation of who we are. So it'll be really interesting to see which way that sways in terms of the mental game. Correct.
And I'm really looking forward to finals week 1. They had their photo op today. They launched the final series at Marvel Stadium this morning, and apparently the smack talk has already begun. So I'm so keen to see it. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this final series. For me, I reckon Brisbane will probably take it out just based off how they're going at the moment. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I think they will too. I think they're just way, way too strong. They just look so good. And I don't know if I'm barracking for them. I can't barrack for a team that's not Carlton, but I do really enjoy watching Brisbane play. I think they're an unreal side. So I definitely think they'll take it out. And just quickly on the finals photo they had today, I love that the AFL is using the same catchphrase, slogan, whatever you want to call it, as they did for the AFL final series. I love that they've blanketed it across both. Like, it's just footy. They're the final series and they're winning for the flag. I love that the AFL made that decision.
Yeah, no, it's so super exciting to see how it's all going to play out. So I want to touch on this quickly. Yes. Yes, T. I agree. But what can you do? We're just going to have to grin and bear it for this year. We've spoken about it at length now, and I think
that should give you hope, a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
If you can find hope anywhere, it's that you can turn it around, and you can turn it around quickly if you have the right people in place, the right framework in place, and you have an aim that's uniting you all. So we can turn it around. We can go into the off season with the aim of, coming out strong and not just doing the same old Carlton thing next season. So we can do a complete 180 if we put the right processes in place.
Yeah, look, it's going to be, I just don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know either.
I'm keen. I'm with you. I'm with you here. And I feel like it's something that we need to just manifest.
At the moment, though, it's blind hope. Like, I have nothing to say that we're going to do a 180 or that we're going to do anything good in the off-season because we haven't had any communication from the club. And I think that's what I'm waiting for so desperately. Just tell us something. What's your plan?
Did you expect any? Like,
yeah, I did, to be honest.
We've heard boo postseason. Boo. Like, nothing from them saying, thank you for supporting us this year. We know it's been tough, but this is what we're going to be looking forward to for next year. Like, just looking like on our website, I've just done a bit of a flick, just to see. And literally nothing. The best they can do is post-match report, and that was posted 4 days ago, and there's been nothing since.
Radio silence. Yes. Radio silence. Do they think that if they just don't say anything, we'll forget about the season? Like, we'll just, Christmas.
Doesn't quite work that way. Sorry,
No.
Carlton. We love you. Please tell us something that you're planning. Like, yeah, I don't know. Let's just hope in the off season they target some good quality players from other clubs. Let's do some poaching. Let's do some poaching.
Even if we do, though, like, realistically, if I'm a good player from another club, why would I want to come to Carlton? So unless something changes before we do our recruiting, I don't see anyone wanting to come to us. We're far from a destination club at the moment.
This is very true.
We need to fix.
True. Look, what can you do? And I just hope that they do recruit well over the off season. And you're 100% right. Everything you've said is just 100% right. And all we can do as supporters is just keep the faith in this football club. They'll do the right thing by us. But what can you do?
Look, they came around in the men's and, I mean, I don't want to talk too soon, but seemed to have fixed something that was wrong. So the people at the top do know how to fix a problem. So let's hope they identify another problem and fix it. I know, please. I'm touching
everything.
Not wood, but
everything.
They know how to put processes in place to build something that's not a failure. I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to be sitting here, well, not here, but you know what I mean, like at the end of round 10 or however many rounds they're having, looking to finals, saying, we're going to have a crack at this final series because we're sitting there in the finals ready to have a crack.
And we deserve to be here.
I want to have that conversation with you. I want to have that show with you, that ramp up into finals. That's what I want for us. That's what I want for this show. So, yeah.
That's how we're going to recruit players to Carlton. We're going to say, Blue Abroad have an AFLW show. That's good. Come to us. I love it.
Yeah, look. Let's just... That's right.
Yep.
That's it. They recruited well. Like, it is. We do need a better game plan because, well, we didn't have one.
What was wrong with the game plan? Oh, wait. Did we even have one? Not sure.
Coach Shan says no.
And Coach Shan's right 99% of the time.
Look, our 450 entries weren't as bad as they have been.
Improvement in the last
It's the
round.
little
Great.
wins. It's the little wins. That's the momentum we want to take. But no, in all honesty, I want to be able to sit here in 12 months' time and praise what Carlton Football Club have done with their women's program.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sit here and say that. I want to be here and say, we're going to win the flag, not Brisbane. We're going to win the flag, not Melbourne or Adelaide or Geelong for that matter. I want to sit here and say Carlton are going to win that flag. But for me right now, Brisbane and Melbourne are the two teams to beat. Melbourne only just missed top spot by about that much. But you
That
can
was
see
exciting following the.
It was, wasn't it? It was good.
Following
Okay,
the live ladder.
But yeah, it's hard. And I'm going to sit here and say it'll be a Brisbane-Melbourne grand final.
I
and
agree.
Brisbane will go back to back.
I agree.
Everyone put your predictions for who's going to win the grand final in the chat, and we'll share some of those. But yeah, look, I'd love to be saying we're going to win the flag. But
you just sit here and wish. You just wish we had a team like Brisbane and Melbourne, that we were running a program that was successful. That's what I would love.
Melbourne's coach has been there for all 7 seasons. What does that say about the culture of that football club?
Strong.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. And facts.
Truth.
Facts. Brisbane beats Adelaide by 12.
Ooh.
Anyone but Adelaide. Fair point.
Ooh. Richmond.
Smoky. They won 7 in a row before 6 in a row, 7 in a row before their draw. That was another epic game. That was really good.
I feel like every game is epic other than the ones we're involved in.
Although, hang on, let's have a look. No. Oh, Adelaide St Kilda was epic. Hawthorn Freo was epic. But yeah, no, the North Melbourne game was quite epic.
They do. Richmond do have our favourite twins. That is true.
They do have our favourite twins. Yeah. Fair point here.
Very fair point. They're definitely not unbeatable, but I do think
nobody's unbeatable in AFLW. But you never know. You just never know.
You never know. We'll be watching, wishing it was us, but enjoying it with no stress.
Again, like the men's.
Oh, what a year of footy. 3 seasons, 3 non-finals. What a year.
I'm ready for a rest, if I'm honest. I'm really, really ready.
I'm ready to put up the Christmas tree.
No, it's the 2nd of November, girl.
No, yes, it's time for the Christmas tree.
Nick would very much appreciate that. I've seen that many TikToks lately with it's November, but in the background you hear Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's me. I would have Mariah Carey playing 24/7 if I could, if it wasn't the Carlton theme song, obviously.
But no, I think we've all earned a well-deserved rest after the season that was. We can now look forward to some warmer weather next week and a really good summer. And hopefully a few changes in the off-season for the AFLW program. Men's season's ready to start pre-season training, I think, in the next 2 weeks. Majority of the boys are already in the gym, which is good to see. If we're going to do a quick flip from the AFLW show to the men's preview. But it'll be good to sit back and reflect and watch the wins. I'll go back and watch many replays over the summer of the boys and the 2 wins of the girls. But no.
The joy of that Essendon game.
Oh, I watched the first half of that Essendon game. I don't want to watch the last quarter again and have another heart attack. Thank you. but we'll sit back and we'll watch over the summer period and see how the women will unfold, and get ready for the men's at the end of March, and then we go again.
We go again.
I know a lot of Cheer Squad members are really excited to do nothing. After 3 seasons of banners, we're done. We're tired. Yeah, what a way to finish the last 11 weeks.
Such a great way to finish. And, Shan and I obviously message a lot during the week. And we were talking about how much we've enjoyed doing the AFLW show this season and how great everyone has been in the comments. So if you have commented or got involved in the show, even if you've just watched the show, thank you so much. It has been a tough season. It's been hard to say the same thing every Wednesday and reword it so that it sounds interesting. But we've really appreciated everyone who's tuned in, and obviously Coach Shan is just the best. And I think we've all learned a lot from Coach Shan about what Carlton are not doing well. So yes, just a big thank you to everyone. And of course, a massive, massive thank you to Terry, who's given us this platform to talk about AFLW. I think it's really, really awesome. We love Blue Abroad and we love Tez. So thank you to everyone who's made this show happen.
Yep, and I second all of that. Being able to give us the platform to be able to speak about the AFLW. I don't think any other fan channel has an AFLW branch to their fan channel. So when Terry and I had this discussion at the start of season 6 in regards to doing this show, I never imagined that we'd get the following that we have. So I truly, truly thank Terry and my co-hosts for season 6, and more importantly, you, Kira, for putting your hand up and jumping on board season 7 with me. I'm looking forward to season 8 with you, if you'll come back.
Of course.
So we will be back next season, guys. We'll be working busily in the background with Terry to work up all the logistics over the summer. And once we know when the AFLW is going to be next year, we'll be back bigger and better, with a brand new intro, hopefully, with some more wins. But thank you so much, everybody, for your kind tweets, your kind words that you send to us every week. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you once again, Kira, for everything this season. This therapy wouldn't be possible if I didn't have you around to bounce ideas off, to vent to during games. It's been amazing. Thank you, everyone in the comments once again. Everyone stay safe over the next little period, and we'll see you all bigger and better in 2023. Up the Baggers.